You win, Spacey Wolf Squadron. You're welcome in the Wolf Tent. I'm your werewolf. We're here again for the next Tuesday's event of our manga study. And what we're tackling today, the madness that is Dorohedoro. This is a manga that I've been wanting to talk about for some time now because of how bananas it is. And now we're here. We're here to talk about Kyosha!
Yeah.
We're here to talk about shocking! We done lost Dominic. He'll be back.
Okay.
We're here to talk about, again, the madness that is Dorohedoro. I have with me today, Fish Chozo.
Yeah.
Okay.
I hope this manga reading doesn't spoil my peach cake that I'm eating right now.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we're gonna be talking about a lot of crazy stuff that happens in this manga / anime. If any of you guys are familiar, the anime is on Netflix right now. You can also watch it on a specific free streaming site for anime and manga. Not anime and manga, just anime period,
Right.
which I'll be linking at the end of this stream.
Yeah,
And
I use that powers. I use that piracy site for a lot of cartoons from various countries, various a country.
Nice. Also with us is the Maverick Hunter Saint Brian Gill Martin.
Good afternoon, everybody. Hope you've been having a good day. And I just have one very important question. What does the man inside say? Because we are covering Dorohedoro, and hopefully you guys enjoy as we analyze this thing.
Here with us, unexpectedly to join us today, is the Bear of the North, Eloise Dotto.
Hello, ignore the person behind the curtain.
Eloise, did you at least take time to read it?
No, I just got off the train right now.
Okay.
Don't worry, we'll cover for you.
Don't worry, guys. We have two people who have actually read this manga. And the second person who have actually read this manga, hang on, Eloise. We'll get into your shortcomings real quick.
Send the link through the private chat, because I can't, if I exit this window on my phone, I'm gonna get booted from the stream, I think.
This is what we're working with, people. Yeah, okay. Anyways, while I was interrupted, I was going to introduce Dominic Powell as a returning guest. No longer a guest, now an employee.
Good afternoon, everyone. Hope you're all having a very pleasant week as we go over and analyze Dorohedoro.
Let me welcome to chat everybody in our audience. We have Samuel Lee Olaki, who's been waiting for this. He says this is a great one. I have all except for the final volume. Hopefully that gets fixed soon. Hopefully you will receive that one. Melissa and Jake is in here, voicing their appreciation of anime and manga. Talking about Tubi. Yeah, I've been on Tubi. It's not my thing. I like to say you should check out Zoro.to. Zoro.to. for uninterrupted anime.
Yeah, that means no ad.
Stanley Olaki mentions he finally tried gyoza last week. It was good. I would like to try it myself.
Is gyoza a
You
manga
won't
or
get
is
it,
it
I'll tell you that.
No. Gyoza is a food.
Oh, okay. No, because it kind of reminds me of that. I know that there's a manga by Junji Ito that starts with a G. I just can't remember what it was.
Yo,
yeah, the one about the fish.
Yeah, Yo Tokyo Fish Attack, I believe.
Yep.
Yeah, like I said, I don't like Junji Ito manga since it's not scary. It's kind of whatever. not really entertaining.
I mean, I understand. I don't find Junji Ito scary, but I do like looking at his artwork. It's creepy.
I'm just there for
He makes creepy artwork, but that's it. It's like it's like he doesn't make you attached to characters and none of that. Just
what about the Tomei series?
Tommy, no, Tommy not interesting. I mean,
I haven't
there's not
read
really much
Tomei.
of a story there.
I've only like flipped through a bit of Uzumaki and then read Gyo, and I think that's about it.
Mhm.
I finished Uzumaki.
Tommy, yeah. Tommy just some chick she regenerates. And she got Deadpool powers, and she's a psychopath, and that's pretty much shit.
Yep.
She's
I
basically
feel like
a Japanese legend within the story.
I feel like it's
Mhm.
I think things are lost in translation, but yeah, we should get back on topic.
Before we go, did you guys even try Deep Star?
Deep Star, Deep Star.
Deep Star Revena, I think it's called Revena.
No, I've only read like no flip through one of. Wait, are we talking about Junji Ito or something else?
Mm-hmm. Still Junji Ito.
No, I've only flipped through Uzumaki, read Gyo, and I think I once saw like something that Junji Ito did about Lovecraft. I can't remember what it was,
Mm.
Yeah.
or I might be
But,
confusing it with someone else.
well,
Like
he does have a Lovecraftian story too called Deep Star Revena. I think it's
Yeah,
called.
yeah,
yeah. It's not. That's not really good either. I mean, talk about stories. Talk about story. The story's not stories. And GG's know why you read it. They just read just for the art, and that's it. It's kind of like
Mm-hmm.
Spawn, which is why like, I kind of got bored with Spawn after the first couple of issues.
Right.
Mm.
Since where's Black going, it doesn't matter. Time and Fall just want to show off how good he can draw.
Yep. Or how good he can sculpt. He really good at
and
that.
so
Or at least he's got a really damn
sorry,
good sculptor.
I'm flipping through Dorohedoro right now. Like I'm tab and it's good art. Like I like the cover.
Mm.
Hmm.
I like that aesthetic, like the gas mask.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah, that's a good aesthetic.
All right. Let's start with the first chapter right now.
Right.
So the first chapter is basically it's basically a straight up what the fuck moment in like the first few panels.
Yeah, he's
Where
like eating the guy's head.
he's got the guy's head in his mouth. He basically the main character, one of the main characters,
Oh,
Kaiman, has a guy literally in his mouth. He's a sense as pictured in the right now in the picture. Kaiman has a lizard head.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
He's got this guy's head in his mouth. You know, the guy is crying out for the other little guy called Fujita. We also find out that his name is Masaru.
Hmm.
Sorry, Masamuru. Ew, I cannot Japanese.
Matsumura.
Matsamura. Yeah, thank you.
It's Masamura.
Yeah, thank you. Of course, there's a girl that's holding him, and she ends up kneeing him in the groin, not in the groin, the gut.
Yeah.
And he says, "Fujita, there's a guy here in his mouth."
Yeah.
And of course, we get to see a mysterious being that emerges from right from the throat of the creature's mouth, who has a very specific design. He has these crosses on his eyes,
Hmm.
and he whispers, you aren't the one.
Yeah.
And of course, they pull he pulls them out. Excuse me. I'm losing my train of thought here. Fujita basically fights off Nikaido and tries to attack Kaiman with his magic. Unfortunately, the magic doesn't work for him. Actually, doesn't work on Kaiman, by the way.
Hmm.
And of course, Nikaido shows off her strength by snapping his finger.
Yep.
Getting into some more action scenes. Again, she kicks him in the face.
Yeah.
Has him subdued. She asks Kaiman,
yo.
"What's up?"
Oh no, the decapitation.
Yeah.
Why are you
I
jumping
was
ahead
not
of us?
expecting that. Sorry.
He's like, "Andre,
I
I'm
was expecting him to be
great."
spared.
Yep. I can't understand a word, buddy.
Yeah.
He asks, "What did the man inside say to you? You aren't the one." In that case, dude just takes out his knife and as Eloise said while she jumping ahead, cuts the dude into pieces.
Yeah.
That's, by the way, that's Kaiman's method of dealing with people like this, which we're gonna get into real quick on what these people are. But that's his method of attack, is cutting them to pieces. Which, if you guys have followed the manga or read the manga up to that point, there's some context to why he does that.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, the hand actually has life left, and he creates a door underneath Vegeta, and he's able to escape.
So the limbs
But
can move by itself.
yeah, for a while, like if the host, the well, not the host, the person still has a little life left,
Right.
they can pull something else. That's why it's always best for you to kill them as quickly as you can. And
Yeah.
who we're talking about is the in the world of Dorohedoro, there are the sorcerers. Nobody knows where they came from aside from the sorcerers' world. The world that they inhabit is the sorcerer's world, where I think it's called the back door, right?
I think they call it the hole, isn't it?
That's
No,
our
no,
world.
no.
Oh, now I understand why Samuel brought up gyoza, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
It's a fan. It's a fan thing. Gyoza is the
Yeah.
food that comes up in Dorohedoro all the time. Kaiman's favorite dish,
Kind of like pizza for the Ninja Turtles.
right?
Mm-hmm.
Or pizza for Dante. But what I was going to explain was the whole is Earth. It's us, our world.
Mm-hmm.
I forgot there's a name for their world. I forgot what it was called.
Mm-hmm.
Let's just call it the Sorcerer's World for simplicity's sake. I'm pretty sure Don will help us out if memory serves him correctly.
Yeah.
But anyways, so the world of Dorohedoro, there's the humans and then there's the sorcerers. What they just fought in the opening of that story were sorcerers, or at least
Right.
in context, Kaiman is investigating sorcerers, which will later bring up the fact that he's looking for the sorcerer that afflicted him with that head
Yeah.
that he has.
Yeah. With that baleful polymorph.
Yep, that and we just learned firsthand that Kaiman's immune to sorcerer's magic for
Mm-hmm.
some reason. They don't know why. Which again, they'll give the context. You'll get the context if you continue the story, which I hope we're selling it properly.
Mm-hmm.
But
So
yeah,
far, it looks like you are.
Nikao brings up the fact that we saw him reveal a door that's never happened before. Yeah, but you know another thing that Dorohedoro does as far as action and horror concern, dark humor.
Mm-hmm.
So they treat this incident as like another day, another regular day.
Day at
So,
the office.
yep, basically. So it's already established that they've done this before so many times with sorcerers, especially when they come in and basically just try to wreck stuff or wreck people's lives.
Mm-hmm.
So the world of sorcerers. The doors are the magic portals that sorcerers use to enter our city, the Hole. They come to the Hole to experiment with their magic. That's basically summing up the reason why sorcerers come to our world, to practice their magic
Mm-hmm.
in the most gruesomest ways. And the magic is selective. It's not no specific. There's no specificity on what the magic is. You could be a shapeshifter. You can be you can create dolls out of thin air. You can even you can even turn people into mushrooms.
Turn them into any number of things.
Yeah. You usually again they do horrible things, or you can heal people instantly, even from death. Even
Hmm.
it all depends on the smoke that's in your body,
Mm-hmm.
and that's and as you saw, if you saw in the panels, what came out the fingers, both the fingers of Vegeta and Masamura, that is the smoke that they use for magic,
Mm-hmm.
and that's usually within your body. And
Mm-hmm.
to to find that magic, you have to mutilate yourself in multiple ways, or one, if you're not
Ooh.
able to manifest your magic as well as other sorcerers.
The main case who can actually do magic too.
No, no, I want to say, but that would be spoiling because we're not that far yet.
Yeah,
But
we're just
yeah.
starting this thing, so.
So let's just say this: as we are right now, they don't use magic.
Mm-hmm.
Not Kaiman, not Nikaido. They don't use magic.
Right.
Mm.
They dispatch them however they can. Nikaido being ultra powerful, strong, she can pretty much break their bones if need to, or she can use weapons to kill them. Kaiman, on the other hand, lets his blades talk.
Yep.
So let's put it like that. They don't like the only reason why Kaiman is able to be as good as he is too, not just because he's good with the blades, is because he's immune to magic. So any sorcerer that try to use magic on it's not going to work on him. But then again, there was a sorcerer that already used magic on him prior to that. But again, it's like they're still looking for the sorcerer that did that to him.
And also,
A
and
lot
also,
of
like,
things. Go ahead.
there's also a vibe of Jason Bourne with Kaiman because he doesn't remember like the events prior to him having his head transformed into a lizard man. And also as a side tangent, the world of the sorcerers is called just that, the sorcerer's world. There's no specific name for it.
Yeah.
So we also see them going to their day to day. You see
Mm-hmm.
you see them go through that day to day. Now we're actually shifting to the sorcerer's world, which is where Fujita is actually going to to get a rebirth egg to get through the door to see one of the main antagonists in.
And
Mm-hmm.
and I will say this: it's like a first glance, like him with mushrooms, it may look useless. However, as you learn more about N and his family as well as his abilities, you may want to rethink your previous assumptions about N and his mystical abilities.
Mm-hmm.
I
That's all
mean,
I'm gonna say.
Mushrooms are magic.
great, yeah, great way to. By the way, great way to really show him in full and really give a very imposing character introduction. It's
Yeah.
just him in a field of mushrooms.
Mushrooms.
Presumably his victims.
That's too far,
Come
Brian.
on, man.
That's too.
We're easing people in. Don't go ahead of us.
Sorry.
Give 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 hints, but don't go far, man.
Yeah. I couldn't help it because I can kind of predict these things.
No, no, no,
Hey,
no, no, no.
Everybody knows you never go full retard.
hey,
You went full retard, man.
I know the guy's name is spelled Cayman. Is he a Cayman or a lizard?
They don't really say. You can go ahead and say he's a caiman.
Yeah.
You can also go ahead and say he's also a lizard.
Yeah.
Take
yeah,
your
because
pick.
Yeah.
for now, look, like we as the audience and even him himself, we don't know his real name because he has retrograde amnesia as a result of the magic that was used on him.
Mm. So they call him a Cayman because he got Cayman head.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
pretty much.
Yeah, because yeah, Caymans aren't lizards. Last time I checked, they're crocodilians.
So we got Vegeta voicing his failure to end,
Right.
and he reports to him who was the ones responsible, and of course he this is what makes End very interesting. He's so relaxed in how he talks,
Hmm.
Mm-hmm.
and he basically views the thing as inconsequential. It's not really a big importance to him until later on in the manga, or at least in the story. But he also voices his disdain of the whole briefly. We get back to their base of operations, or at least where they go, where Kaiman goes to take his breaks, which is Nikaido's restaurant,
The Hungry Bug.
where she serves his favorite dish, as Samuel pointed out, Gyosha!
Yep.
I love gyoza!
Yum.
Gyoza!
Yeah.
I hope I don't lose my voice this week.
He really loves his gyoza as much as the turtles love their pizza.
Yep.
Yep.
Funny
Just like I
enough,
said earlier.
the chapter ends on him just eating gyoza.
Yep.
I can't even about.
Yep. He's loving that gyoza, and they get all variety of a manner of people in that restaurant. By the way, which
Yeah.
we'll get into pretty soon. I'm going by anime memory. By the way.
Yeah, I noticed.
Yeah. I mean, I'll say like what I appreciate about chapter one. One is how it immediately sets everything up like for the reader by having us like jump into the action, actually from like the beginning of chapter one, and one of volume one. Well, we get to know Nakaido and Cayman, like who they are, what they do, why they're doing it, and we also get subtle world building through the characters' dialogue.
Yeah.
Where did Eloise go?
I don't know. I'm hearing a lot of racket back there.
That's over at Fizz's. You okay, Fizz?
Yeah, I'm still here.
Okay, just making sure.
Mm.
But yeah,
But how do mushroom powers really work? How they
he simply just look at you and breathe on you.
turn into mushrooms, but
Mm-hmm.
how's that affect the hell? What does the mushrooms do? Is there anything special about the
You just
mushrooms?
become
Or
mushrooms.
like
Or
You'll see.
push like
Just
this.
wait.
Push like this. He can create a mushroom out of your back. He can put a mushroom within you to control you. He can send a mushroom to attack you.
oh, I get it. He make the mushrooms come to life. Oh, I get it.
He can do that too.
And funny,
And,
interestingly, it's related to how like the body decomposes after you die, because it
mm-hmm.
can happen that you it can happen. Mushrooms can like grow on your person.
Mm-hmm.
I know.
Mm.
They can even grow inside the stomach while he's still alive.
Yep. They can even they can grow out your face like pimples and you'll die.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
Mm.
So in the next chapter we get to where kind of makes his living while he's not out going around killing sorcerers or hunting for the guy who did that to him or
Mhm.
girl, take your pick. He works at basically what amounts to a morgue.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it's a morgue slash a hospital to treat people who were affected by the sorcerer.
Yep.
And it looks like a straight up war morgue, like
It kind of does.
where soldiers go to wounded soldiers go before they're treated.
Yep.
I'm just
Got
looking at
that
it like
vibe.
bruh. This reminds me of Second Renaissance,
Yeah.
the aftermath of the war between the humans and machines in Second Renaissance of Animatrix. Crickets, y'all know what I'm talking about, do y'all?
Not really.
No, I know what you're talking about.
Brian, have you seen the Animatrix?
Animatrix? No.
Okay. What about you, Fizz?
No, no, that I care to, because I already saw Mason's movies.
You didn't want to watch the Animatrix?
No, because no, it's very,
I,
very nice.
I,
It's an anthology movie of a bunch of animated Matrix
well, even,
shorts.
even though the Animatrix is an anthology, it is effectively a prequel to the Matrix movies.
One of
I know,
the
yeah, but it's
shorts
not
is.
necessary viewing, and it's not really a story. It's not really a story. So
It's supplementary material.
yeah,
That's all it is. I'll still get it though, cause
it's
it's
kind of
really
like
good.
it's kind of like buying a novelization of a movie. Why does it matter?
Mm-hmm. Anyways, yeah, that's what it reminded me of. But we get a little bit of alone time with Nikai though in the next panels.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, sorry, trying to follow along here. I'm actually reading as I'm explaining this stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Dominic, you feel free to cut in if you want to add to the chapters because we're on chapter
Yeah,
2 right
so
now.
yeah, so in the beginning of the second chapter, we are introduced to a civilian who is affected, who's pretty much being turned into a human bug hybrid by the sorcerer. At first, we don't know who this guy is, but he is like one of the majority of the sorcerers that freely experiments on people with their magics without any care of the world.
Mm-hmm. They're heartless.
Mm-hmm.
Most of
They
them.
do, most of them, yeah. Usually, if they see you, they see you as a plaything to test out their magic, to practice their magic. It's like it's
Mm,
like a twisted version of what Hogwarts would be. Like you're in a asylum playground basically, and we're
mm,
basically the playground. And of course we have
Yeah,
we have we have one that's attempting to attack Nikaido while she's cooking food for him. He poses as a starving victim, not starving victim, a starving homeless person. And of course he does he is actually the sorcerer that Dominic is talking about that turns the patient into a bug. As you saw earlier, the guy has bug limbs for arms and legs. And of course, he manages to affect Nakaido when he sprays his smoked adder. And of course, he's gloating
Yeah.
too while he's at it.
but wait, I
Yeah.
want to mention this. I want to mention this. I want ask this question. Okay, we got these sorcerers. They have to be genetically evil. Like the
N-
like
Not necessarily generically evil, but
no, no.
they're deviously evil at
and
times.
also
They're gleefully evil.
They're devious because they
and also
trick you at times too, like what
no,
just happened with Nikaido.
also why are they practicing their magic?
Because they're sorcerers and that's what they do. That's usually the simple answer it is, but it's usually like that's how they go to experiment their magic. You have to have a it's also a way of status in their world. You
Mm.
have to have magic to be a hey Eric here. Funny to see you here, dude. Another regular from Ishi.
Why on humans? Yeah, why on humans specifically? Why not on animals?
Because it's easier to. Do they do that on animals too, Dominic?
I'm not that far in, so I couldn't tell you.
Dominic, have they ever done that to animals too? I doubt it. Humans are just more fun. Let's just say that. We're more expressive. Let's say that, or at least the human body is very
First, they
experimental
test
and
on
how.
animals before eventually going on to human trial.
Repeat that, Dominic.
Mm-hmm.
I, I was saying, well, as I was saying before, for the internet's connection cut me off, is like sorcerers, they find out what their magics can do. Then after they test out their abilities, they experiment with their magic on like in an area, then to animals before eventually going into the human trials.
Like science testing.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
There's your answer, Fizz. They do experiment on animals.
Mm. Okay, they's all inherently evil for some reason. Okay.
Well, it's mostly from the culture these sorcerers were raised in. They weren't taught like civics, ethics, and morality.
Yeah,
Mm.
they're basically in a world of hedonism and sadism.
Yep.
Okay. So why? Okay. And whoever the leader of the sorcerer must be destroyed in order to change the civilization, right?
They have to save somebody from a sorcerer's magic. They have to kill them, or the sorcerer can reverse the magic
No,
if
no,
they
no, no. I'm
can.
talking about the overall storyline of the Dorohedoro. They have to stop the top sorcerer, right?
Well, there's no really big social order in the sorcerer's world. There are factions, like a mafia.
Okay.
Like
So
like like
they
like
gotta stop the top faction.
if anything, if there's actually an overarching story in this story, yeah, that's the way to go. But they usually don't go into the sorcerer's world because there's far too many of them.
It'd be like
And if
walking
you
into a den of vipers at that point.
yeah, you basically be behind enemy lines where everybody has a fucking nuclear bomb in their hand.
Yep.
If you
Hmm.
if even if you want to go out there to get to the top sources, which later in the story, Kaiman does do that, and he's basically getting an eyeful of their world, understanding their culture and everything. So it would be a good idea to try to go there, but again, you'll be essentially fighting a fighting force that has a fucking nuclear gun in their hand.
Like a rifle behind every blade of grass.
No matter how weak or terrible the magic is, you are going to get fucked up. That, and there's
Hmm.
also other forces living there that are not sorcerers, that are way more powerful than sorcerers themselves.
Mm.
And usually they don't even get involved in the affairs of the sorcerers unless they have to.
Yep.
Or at least if the sorcerers are doing something that they're not supposed to be doing. There is a ruling law in government. Make no mistake, in the sorcerer's world, there is law there. Their laws are just different from ours.
Okay.
Yeah, and also, and as as we like at first glance we're led to believe that the sorcerers are just humans who have a natural affinity to magic. No, no. With Mikyu Hiyashida, she establishes that the sorcerers and humans are distinct species from one another in spite of being human.
Mm.
Mm-hmm.
By the way, A1RG3R says Zoe Quinn is told me in real life.
Mm-hmm.
I know.
Just call him
That's the
air
messed up
gear.
thing.
Just call him air gear.
Arrow Gear. Yeah,
Yeah,
she says that
like the anime.
Zoe Quinn, Zoe Quinn is Tommy in real life.
Yeah, I saw that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Ooh.
That's
That's
big
basically
I
what she
know
business.
is.
that. I know she's told me, but without superpowers.
Mm-hmm.
Sally pointed out, it's simple. It's not so simple with the sorcerers, but they are pricks to humans in general, and yet humans are better test subjects for fun. And he also brings up there some sorcerers are really lacking in power and are at the bottom of the social order.
And
Yep.
we do get a chance to see that in both the manga and the anime when the Kaido and came and eventually do go into the Sorcerer's world.
I know, but by the way, Dorohedoro sounds is very similar to one of my kind of projects, so that's strange.
It's a happy accident.
It's happy accident. I never even heard about it until now.
Yep.
And,
Well,
and
a lot of my stuff will sound similar to some other anime or manga too. Like when I was bringing up bouncers, some Neo Star brought up the fact that it sounds like Mobile Fire G Gun. It was like, yep, that's my inspiration.
Yeah, that happens to me. That happens to me too. Whenever I'm working on my original characters, or even the novel series that I'm working on. One of my major sources of inspiration for it is George R. Martin's Wildcard series, as well
I have yet
as
to get
well as
that book.
as well as Heroes, Champions Online, and many others. But basically, with Wildcards, it's essentially an homage to the superhero genre. It's not deconstruction. It is a genuine homage to superheroes and all of it, quirks and all.
Um, I'll even mention this years ago when I was in community college, and I showed one of my schoolmates a character design, and he told me that he looked like Ren from Blue Exorcist, and I've never even seen Blue Exorcist.
Me neither.
Up until
I recommend the manga and the anime. It's a good urban fantasy series.
yeah. What I'm saying what I'm saying was is like I told him I never even heard of Blue Exorcist,
Right.
and I created this all on my own. And he even showed it to everybody else, and he was like, "Yeah, they do look like Blue Exorcist." I was like, "Huh?" And I looked up Blue Exorcist, like, "Huh, interesting." Which is funny because I'm actually retooling the story into the story project that I want to write, which is a demon escaping from hell. But originally, the character I had, he's essentially a human, or at least he thought he was a human, but he becomes he's actually a demon with a human heart, a living being human heart, originally given to him by his mother, who was human, born by his father, who was demon.
Right.
So he's half demon, but if he removes the human heart, he becomes full demon. Inuyasha's situation there. But the human heart is what keeps his humanity, or at least his morality, in check. So there are times when he has to fight when he discovers that he's a demon and human. He has to fight that demon side from now on.
Yeah. Sounds interesting.
But like I said, I scrapped that to go with the demon that wants to escape from hell. His own terms, not through the usual methods, which is body possessioning.
Right.
Like
Interesting.
possessing a living host or living body.
Right.
But I'll talk about that some other time. Let's get back to the topic at hand.
Yes.
Just want to point out that yeah, don't trip about that, Fizz. If somebody can draw comparisons to that, like it's a happy coincidence.
And also a form of a compliment.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, so as we go back to chapter 2 of Dorohedoro in volume 1, we do briefly go back to the Sorcerer's world, and we see Fujita trying to go back to our reality in the city of the whole. However, he can't, and the guards telling him that traveling to the whole is forbidden at the moment.
Now that we're back on track, we see that Kaiman has come back, and Nikaido is worse for wear, and the sorcerer. The way how they framed this, the sorcerer is sitting on her back. Now already she has four arms growing over. I think it's way worse in the anime because the events happens differently.
Yeah.
He wasn't. I don't think he was sitting on top of her. I think he had ran out and escaped. I think I could be wrong. I only saw that anime twice, and it's been a while since I watched it recently.
Hmm.
But he attempts to he attempts to escape. He's got the door. Kind of takes off his mask, and he approaches him right next to Nikaido. He grabs him and bites his head like the
Yup.
previous guy.
Yeah. Yeah.
Unfortunately, his teeth dug into the dude's top head and his neck. And dude is trying to escape through the door. He turns the doorknob. Kamen lifts him up with his mouth, rips his hand off.
Yeah.
No, I mean he didn't. Oh, I thought you said his hand.
Not his head. His hand comes completely off his doorknob. This
the guy.
Mind you, everybody, this
Yeah,
book is fucking gory as all shit. Like Devilman Crybaby is like in competition. No. It's in competition because that shit can get gory too.
No,
Yeah.
I hate Devil Man Crybaby for Bear because I hate the story. It was really bad. It was really bad. I don't watch all the way up until the last two. I only watched 8 out of 10 episodes of that show. It was that bad. I had it took a long time to even watch that show because it was so. And it's not the content, just the story. The story is horrible.
Hmm.
Story.
Well, you
I
watched
hate
it?
that.
I gave Devilman Crybaby a chance, and what ended up happening is it made me want to read the original manga instead of coming back to it in the future.
I watched it
Yeah,
5
I know.
times already.
I'm not even gonna watch the. I didn't. I'm not even gonna watch the last 2 episodes of Devil Man Crybaby. It's so poor quality of a storytelling.
Yeah.
You wouldn't like it either way.
No, so poor. Let me explain. None of the characters had any personality. I don't remember none of them names. They pretty much just the non-entities.
Akira, Rio, Miki
I can't read.
Nakamura,
Yeah,
Miki.
I couldn't remember none of the names. They're pretty much non-entities, not characters. They're just things that get killed. And
The second go ahead, I actually learned the rappers' names.
like I didn't. I can't remember their names. Just like I said, they're not actual characters. They pretty much just kind of like in the characters in Friday the 13th movies. Can't remember any of their name, most of the names.
Yeah.
So to not act so.
I'm surprised you couldn't because they say their names a lot all the time in that show.
They say names, but I can't remember this. I don't remember them. I can't remember their personalities. I don't remember, their characters are so non.
They're kind of one dimensional in that regard.
They're completely one dimensional. They're kind of like paper cutouts.
Yeah,
almost.
like most of the time you see Miki or rather Miko. She's mostly there to be the foil to Miki.
Look, and not only that, but I don't care. They care about the characters either. There's paper cutouts, and the demons villains don't have any personality either at all.
They're just evil for evil's sake. They're hedonistic in that regard.
No, it's not just that.
Yeah.
They're all interchangeable. You can take one demon and swap them, and they fit. They're both they're interchangeable. And now that. And now all the characters essentially interchangeable. Person who gets killed and demon who does the killing, and every single one's interchangeable. And also Devil Man's terrible superhero, like in the story, the terrible sucks.
Oh boy.
And also
It's not enough to get you to read the manga, the original manga.
No, and also, I don't like most. I don't, and also gross sexual kind of thing. It's basically very much gross sexual content. This what the fuck? Like, I'm not even gonna watch this
It's all
stuff.
in your
No, no, I'm not.
face.
Yeah, because I'm not. I mean, yeah. I mean, Penetrator does this type of stuff in one of my comics, but he's a villain, and he actually has a detailed personality. Instead of just being a straw, it's kind of straw man. I mean,
Mm.
Penetrator is partially inspired by Devilman. I mean that in High School DxD was also hated.
I can understand high school DD.
Yeah.
Mhm.
What about you, Dominic? What's your take on Devil May the manga per se? Are you still there, Dominic? Oh, he's muted.
Oh, he's muted.
Ah, his dog. His dog. He's got to deal with his dog
Oh,
because I
okay.
did his dog earlier.
I can't tell if anybody's supposed to be here or not because this screen is up and I can't see
Like I
everybody
like
when
I
it
mentioned
on
like I
panel.
mentioned earlier, Fizz. Let me handle that.
Mm-hmm.
I'll let you know who's still here. And this list, you know who to listen in for.
Mm-hmm.
Sandy also has a comment. He says, there's the devils whom are extremely powerful and have totally different goals and aspirations. The sorcerers basically worship them, and with extreme training, a sorcerer may become a devil.
Hmm.
Oh, it makes sense. Okay, it makes sense.
Yeah.
If you ever want a motivation why they do that, there's your motivation right there too.
That explains it.
They're basically
Like,
devils in training, I suppose.
Oh, gotcha.
yeah, but the devils also have their own training too.
True.
They don't even come out as devils per se. They go through their own training too, and then later become like devils. Like when we're getting to say a certain character, which I hope we'll see in the next chapter. We're done with chapter 3. The guy's dead. Let's just say that the sorcerer that tried to turn into a bug ends up dying anyways. His skull gets basically mulched,
Yup.
and the Kaido's cured because he died. And of
Yeah.
course, anybody who was also turned into a bug, or at least got bug parts, are also healed too.
Yeah.
So we're in chapter 3 right now. In chapter 3, we have Fujita also reporting again to
Right.
uh N, who basically gives him a mushroom that's going to lead him to the sorcerer who created the lizard man.
Yeah.
And then of course you see a demonstration of him using his power, which is smoke. And
Yeah. It's like, remember, kids, secondhand smoke is a leading cause of cancer.
right.
Just kidding.
And of course Fujita is basically just sucking is figuratively sucking in his dick right now because he's so in awe of
Yeah.
he's basically in awe of N. Basically, he's one of
Yeah.
the N is one of the very famous and more powerful sorcerers with a
Mhm.
very sketchy backstory, mind you.
Hmm.
But he reigned in the sorcerer world with his own posse as time. Just to give you a bit of backstory about N, a brief backstory.
Hmm.
He was like top dog. He worked his way to the top. So
Right.
so he earned that reputation,
Mhm.
and this is why he earns Fujita's fanboying of him.
Hmm.
So you'll get a little bit of instances of Fujita always idolizing sorcerers that are better than him, because we don't really know we don't really know much of what Fujita can do with his powers aside from shooting smoke from his fingertip. It's mostly a sort of a bullet type of smoke fire
Mhm.
from what I gathered from the anime itself. I think that's basically how his powers work. It's more impact like magic. But I don't know if it transforms people or not per se. But he always his arc is more of he's the weakling. He is the inferior, the social inferior.
Mhm.
But he's also been treated really nicely by those who are above him, despite them being horrible people as we go along.
Mhm.
Which hopefully in this chapter we'll see his partner that actually in a way, it's like kind of like a good friend of his like builds up to being a good friend of his. But we get back to Kaiman
Hmm.
puking in a bath in a toilet,
Yeah. You
and
almost
then of
never
course,
drink when you drink.
and then a full bite just literally just erupts out of his mouth, and the head pops off too, which was interesting. But then you see a bloody body that turns and looks towards the Kylo and asks, "Who are you?" But we later find out on the next page it was a dream.
Damn it! I spiked my pillow.
Yep, of course that's first class problems there. But he also mentions that it's the same nightmare. Even nightmares get old when you have them every damn night.
Hmm.
So it's implied that he's had that dream, that nightmare so many times already.
Yeah, which does play a part in the overarching story within Dorohedoro, especially to Kim's journey and finding out his identity and regain his memories. And
Hmm. Hmm.
We also get some more information from Samily. Dang, Samily, good job, buddy. He says not just any less loser can be a devil. Most die in the process, and devils are extremely fickle, devious, and do things purely on a whim a lot of the time. He also mentions that getting any favors from a devil is a tricky thing, which if we do continue this manga, which we will, we'll bring that up as it presents itself, how that works.
Hmm.
Cause oh my goodness, we'll be here all fucking day trying to explain this shit.
Yeah.
And I really would like to keep this. Actually, you know what? My aim for the manga studies, I want to keep them as short as possible. If need be, we'll just talk about the manga itself.
Right.
I might switch the format where we don't have to necessarily go chapter by chapter. We just go our overall thoughts of the first five chapters.
Yeah.
If we read that far, you know what I'm
Hmm.
saying.
Right.
So that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna try to do some short format streams. So are you guys cool with that?
I'm cool with it.
yeah, I'm
Uh,
okay with it too.
how about you, Fizz?
Yeah, okay.
Fizz is like whatever. Fizz is like, dude, I'm just along for the ride. I just want to hear you guys talk about this shit.
Yeah.
and, just, and just chime on in when I have questions, right,
Yeah.
Fizz?
Hmm.
I mean,
Exactly.
correct me if I'm wrong. Correct me if I'm wrong. You just here for fun, right? For fun, right?
Exactly. Exactly.
Of course, Simon Lee also brings up lots of literal body horror in the series. Yes. Oh my
Yep.
goodness. Like you thought Akira's body horror was bad? Check out Dorohedoro. The manga Akira. Or anything from Juji Ito, or even what's another book that had huge Frank and Fran.
Yeah, Frankie Fran, of course,
Or
of course.
or if you want to go, or if you want to go even further from Breaking Friend, check out any of David Cronenberg's like work,
Hmm.
which is filled with body horror, and he's the master of it.
Take it away, Dominic, for this chapter. We get a little bit more of Kaiman's day to day life. He gets up, brushes his teeth, gets his mask on, and go out. He's also he meets up with Nikaido. She brings him food, whatever, and it seems like they're preparing for something. Or at least
Now, or,
or at least they're going over the details of the spell.
now, in chapter four or still on three.
Chapter 3.
We're on chapter 3. He's like, what if I'm totally
Uh,
hot and you fall in love with me? You wish.
All right. All right. So
Just
after the whole nightmare experience, after the whole nightmare experience with Cayman, which will again play a part later, which plays a huge role later on in the story. Where we get to see him like go about his day-to-day life, meet Nikaido, and as they meet Mikado, and eventually they see a door, or which means a sorcerer is coming by. But this sorcerer in particular is of their interest because she is responsible for Kima's current predicament, and also serves as an
spoiler.
introduction to the thing. But but all in all, we are introduced to another character in Dorohedoro, Ibisu.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
Which over time we learn that her powers are lizard based,
Hmm.
Yes.
and boy does she go through the ringer in this story
Well,
completely.
not just not just in this chapter, but she'll be put through the ringer a lot as the story progresses in Dorohedoro.
I'm just saying the story as a whole, she goes through a lot of shit, and it's like you kind of feel bad for her, but at the same time, it's like,
Yeah,
should you feel bad for her? Like we don't even know what she does on her day
yeah,
to day. And
yeah.
like
So
let's start off with this. Let's start what happens to her in this instance right now because she runs it because like Fujita is meant to meet her to find the sorcerer that did that to Kaiman as Dominic explained.
Hmm.
Kaiman beats him beat basically beats Kaiman and Nikaido basically beats Fujita to her, and they do some terrible shit to her. First,
well,
Hmm.
they brutally beat her up before knowing that she's actually a girl.
They ripped the
first
mask
Nikaido
off
Okay,
her.
First,
and
Nikaido kick. First, Nikaido kicks her.
are you telling me they're not equal opportunity ass whoopers?
They do.
Oh no, they are equal opportunity butt kickers.
They were hoping it's a dude. Is you because it's usually the dudes that are like the worst.
Hmm.
You hardly ever see any female sorcerers doing terrible things to people.
Sorcerers.
But
Right.
but we do get an introduction of women sorcerers who does the same thing as the male sorcerers do. In this case,
I assume, of course,
Ibisu.
assume do.
Hmm
Hmm.
But yeah, like let me go over what they do to Ebisu. First, they kick her. Then they cut off her. Then kind of cuts off her fingers so that she won't use her magic, of course,
Yeah.
because it's most usually it's employed by the fingertips. They unmask her. He still bites into her,
Hmm.
and then before he even answers, freaking Fujita grabs her, pulls her out of his mouth, and her face comes off, dangling in his teeth.
Yikes. There's some body
I
horror.
know, yeah. No, that was my reaction when I first experienced this series. Like, ooh, dang.
Try imagining that in animation, by the way.
Yeah. Wonder what plastic surgeon's gonna cover that.
Oh,
Oh,
ho- hopefully in the next chapter we'll meet that plastic surgeon.
Yeah, right.
That experience, by the way, scarred her for life to the point where she's almost a
Oh yeah.
vegetable.
Yeah. Hey, the pictures. Let's take a look. I see a cavity.
It ends, and that's how it ends. By the way, again,
They,
look, start normal, right? This is a science scale. Goes up normal, everyday life, talking down, crazy body horror shit up. Oh well, we had a good day. I mean,
yeah,
It's again like this series is insane.
yeah. Well, it's got that
tell me
that
about
sort
it.
of macabre sense of humor to it. So yeah, you can see where would have that appeal.
Oh, we are actually in the chapter that introduces the plastic surgeon. Well, actually, the top
Yeah,
two
chapter
favorite
4.
characters, the top two fan favorites, which intro-
Oh yeah,
which
Shin,
introduces.
Shin and Noi.
Thank you, Dominic. Thank you. Two made men, as I like to call them, or fixers, or
Mm-hmm.
assassins, or just mercenaries.
Mm-hmm.
Now, what's interesting about Shin and Noi is the fact that their choice in methods, and once again, what makes them interesting is their personalities as well. Which again, I stress, if we continue this manga, we see the backstory of why they are the way they are. There's some nuance in the story, no matter how crazy it gets. Very nuanced.
Mm-hmm.
So we see them wearing their mask, which is what makes them iconic as well. Shin having a heart for a mask, a literal human heart for a mask, and of course, Noi's iconic one, which is basically a mask with crazy looking teeth and what amounts to be goggle eyes.
Mm-hmm.
Basically, a gimp mask. It's a gimp mask,
Yeah.
a very stylish gimp mask,
Yeah. Like we are Venom.
right? But of course, it's basically just introducing them as doing their job, which is Shin's already clobbered somebody with a hammer. His method of attack is his weapons of choice is a hammer. Of course, Noi likes to let her fist do the talking. Now, mind you, Noi is basically a strong woman fetish for most people, or at least a fan favorite, because a lot of people nowadays love fit women. They're actually in fashion this year.
Mm-hmm.
Me too.
That's
But me too. But
On the waifu scale, they're in fashion. So that's a brief. We get a complete brief introduction of these two, and they also another a character trait of theirs is that they like to eat,
Mm-hmm.
and they always eat the same. They usually eat the same food, and they tend to they usually are in competition on how much they can eat. So
Mm-hmm.
we get back to our heroes again. Specifically Kaiman, who who gets a gift from Nikaido,
Mm-hmm.
the lunch.
Yeah.
So
that's half funny idea.
what is that? Go ahead.
Nothing. That's do my book goofing on. As yeah.
Okay. We do get a bit of a brief fan servicey scene of Nikaido,
Yep. Under
just
the
in,
sheets.
just showing a little skin, not necessarily like wearing something very revealing or anything, but she has a weird looking bra.
Mm-hmm. It's prime
But
for a wardrobe malfunction.
not really. But but we get to see the relationship between him and the doctor that he works with. Donick, help me out here. What's his name again? Is Donick still with us? Nope. Wait, no, he's
Oh no,
still.
I'm still here. We're on chapter 4.
Yeah, we're on chapter
Yes.
4 now.
Alright. Alright. Alright, well, so the doctor, the rest of the hospital in whole. Actually, wait.
Hey,
Mr.
by the way, hey,
Reading?
redneck. We're on
Redneck.
I've been knows that person was here.
we're on page 8.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
no, they actually didn't say.
They don't say his name.
Yeah, he just first as Doc.
Okay, we'll go with Doc then. So we get a little bit of relationship between him and Doc. Doc is again the guy who helps people who are inflicted with the sorcerer's magic, and Kaiman's the one who works for a living to get his daily meal from Nikaido or anywhere else that he goes to eat. But there's an interesting kind of relationship between those two. It's like sometimes they they have a workman rivalry between each other.
Mm-hmm.
So far they tend to play cards with each other, and there are times while he's the one that's treating the patients, Kaiman's the cleanup usually, and disposal.
Mm-hmm.
So he give me a sec. The doc is also giving him a job while he's on his break. But we also find out that the trash that he gives to Kaiman is also moving.
Mm-hmm.
But then we go right back to our two favorite cleaners, Noi and Shin. And of course, Noi's proper official introduction is punching people into walls.
Yikes.
Basically nailing them into a wall. And she's got 7 to them.
I killed someone with one blow.
And she's counting those. She says, all right now, 1, 2, 3, 7. Wonder how many Shin nailed.
Yeah. So one's a hammer, one's nails. Nice.
Yep. Of course, we have Shin. We go back to Shin, and he says, I don't think any of you were meant to die today. Ha ha. But your bullshit mentality had led you to waste your lives. Morons like you deserve only death.
Yikes. Ha 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 ha.
We get a little bit. We're getting a little bit of personality trait here with Shin.
Mm-hmm.
Welcome back, Dominic. He's muted right now, but he's back now.
Right.
But there are times he it seems like he liked the job to go as cleanly as possible and not and avoid senseless bloodshed.
Mm-hmm.
He tries to sell things the nice way, considering his past. Which Dominic, if you're with us,
Yeah, I'm still here.
in one word, how would you best describe Shin's backstory?
Well, I would say tragic, but that would be an understatement.
I would say chaotic.
Yeah.
That's a better word for it.
That's one way of point out. Considering how chaotic his past is, you will have, you'd be hard pressed to see him try not to resort to violence all the time. But there are times that if you set him in the mood, oh, he's ready for it. Like he's usually just polite in his approach. He's very, very. Oh, yep. Redneck said messy. Yep, that's another way of describing it too. Very messy.
Yeah. So I guess he's like the affably evil type character.
Yep, him and Noi, they're just doing a job majority of the time, and when they do the job, it's like a fun thing to them. Sometimes they play a game off of it. Sometimes they do challenges while they're doing it. They even have a conversation with each other while killing somebody horribly.
Yeah.
They're the equivalent of Jules and Vincent from Pulp Fiction. If you haven't noticed it yet, the way how Shin's dressed.
What
He's
does
dressed in
Marcellus Wallace look like?
Mm-hmm. Well, first of all, Shin's dressed in a very tuxedo suit, presentable, somewhat presentable because he has an undid. He has a very not well tied up tie. He's got a full suit. And he wears sneakers. So somewhat appropriate, but whatever. And of course, Noi is wearing a track suit, or what amounts to be a track suit, a track bodysuit that's zippable. Of course, of course she goes into multiple outfits during the course of the story, but we're not going to get into that yet. but those are their usual get-ups when they go to work, basically. So so if you look at them side by side, it's basically Pulp Fiction.
Mm-hmm.
uh, I guess you would say uh, Shin would be Jules out of the two,
Mm-hmm.
whereas Noi would be probably Vincent, but without the dumbassery.
Mm-hmm.
Because make no mistake, Vincent do some dumbass stuff in that story, and one of the dumbass moments end up costing his life.
Mm-hmm.
He says not to mention his designated mask is on backwards. Oh yeah, I forgot about that detail.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he's literally wearing his mask backwards. Yeah,
Does head guy does Cayman guy eat humans or regular food?
he's regular food. He doesn't eat humans. He only puts them in his mouth just to find out the identity of the person who did that to him, because the person living in his mouth should know.
Mm-hmm.
He doesn't even know what the guy looks like, or at least he does. He only sees him in a nightmare, though.
Mm-hmm. That's why he always asks the question, "What does the man inside say?"
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
And usually it says you are not the one.
Maybe I'm the one who is a schizophrenic psycho.
But yeah, they're pretty much done with their job. They're going to their mark, basically, and it's one of the it's another sorcerer. Everybody else was human, basically. It essentially killed humans. And what's interesting about this guy is the fact that this guy has the same cross, the same crosses on his eyes, just like the guy living in Kaiman's mouth.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, they're basically cleaners. And he says, "Ends cleaners, yes. You clean my men all up, but no smoke smell. I don't use magic against those who can't wield it. That would be picking on the weak. I don't do that. We'll be talking about that some other time.
Mm-hmm.
That's a nice detail about Shin's character there. He
Mm-hmm.
says, "Bullshit. It makes no difference to people you kill. I don't remember asking you for your opinion, old man. Come at me, punk." And of course, the guy's getting ready to attack. And he says, "Noi, bag, you got it. Feast your eyes, old man, on a real sorcerer." And of course, he uses magic, and basically we cut right back to Kaiman, and that's the same sorcerer that's in that bag. Now, how do you get in that bag? Shin basically uses powers to cut people to pieces.
Ooh.
This is what I mentioned earlier. About the magic that people can go to pieces, but they're still alive.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. Kind of like
He's
what
one.
Thanos did with the Reality Stone in the Infinity War.
Yeah, basically what he did to Drax.
That's what he
Only,
did to Drax.
yeah. Only difference is that when it comes down to Shin, you're basically not necessarily dissected. You don't really go to pieces like the way how Drax does. You go to pieces in sections: torso, arm, elbow, you name it. Your head's still intact, and you can still talk.
Oh,
That's basically how that works. It's kind of like how once he uses magic, he fires it at you, and you just go straight to pieces, like that. Like,
mm,
but you'll still be alive relatively,
mm,
because in the panels right now, the body is moving. It's still moving, regardless of it being in pieces. And of course, you have time having a conversation with the bag. He says, "Who are you,
mm.
and what are you doing here in the garbage bag? I'm a sorcerer. A certain man did this to me. Then he dumped me here in the hole." Oh yeah, by the way, that was happening in the sorcerer's world where Shin and Noi was operating, and now they they brought him to the warp to the hole. And he says, "You can't get out." "No, look at me." What kind of fucked up sorcerer would do that? Are
Yeah.
you from the hole? Yeah. Then you must hate sorcerers. So please kill me. Of course, he casts the dude into a Of course, he casts the dude into an incinerator and burns him. He says, "He cast a ton of smoke when I blacked out, but the sound of his heartbeat woke me. Heartbeat of the sorcerer. Who did this to you? Who is he? What's he look like? Please, just kill me. Get it over with. Fine, have it your way." He just tosses him in, just walk away. And of course, you get the final farewell, which is thank you. And of course, you get Doc asking, like, you took care of it? It stinks like hell. And he says, I feel like shit. Pay me my money now. Who the hell do you think you are? Why am I so keyed up? All I did was kill a sorcerer, nothing usual. So why am I getting a bad feeling from this?
Hmm.
Again, it's one of those situations where, again, shit happens and people go on about their day. And more fan service of Nikaido and her interesting looking bra.
Hmm.
Seriously though,
Mm.
it looks like she turned a fucking overall into a bra.
Pretty much. Now I'm curious as to what the rest of it looks like. Oh
Well, I'm sure she's wearing panties.
yeah.
Mhm.
Of course, we come back to Shin and Noi. Back again. This is before they even dumped him into the world. But of course, Noi has to be Noi. She gets excited after Shin sorry, she gets excited when he brings up dinner, and of course it snaps the bag, and out comes the body parts of the sorcerer, which is interesting because in this version he's all organs
Hmm.
and a head,
See, it ripped. I told you not to buy that cheap
whereas in
shit.
the anime he's basically body parts.
Yeah.
He says, "See, it ripped. I told you not to buy cheap shit."
Yeah.
He said, "This is your damn mess. You clean it up."
You know what it reminds me of?
And that's
Some of
the
the
end of chapter
you know
4.
you know what that reminds me of? Some of the garbage bags I see at work, the waste baskets. Bring
Mm-hmm.
that shit and they leak through like crazy.
Right.
Mm. I want to ask anybody here: Has anybody here thought of a crash test dummy as a villain?
Crash test dummy. No.
Dude,
Unless you're
that would be amazing.
Yeah, I haven't,
close,
but I haven't, but okay, I just want to ask anybody else that ever doing that done that.
the closest
I
thing I
remember the
could think
crash
of.
test dummies from those commercials had their own show on
Yeah,
for
wasn't there a guy
kids.
named Junkman in that show who was their villain?
Maybe I didn't watch that show because I didn't care for that. I cared about them being on the fucking commercial.
Yeah.
What
Yeah, I didn't
You
commercial?
can
really
learn a
count
lot
it.
from a dummy. Buckle your safety
Buckle your
belt.
seatbelt.
Mm.
Also, Redneck is well, first before I even get to Redneck's comments, let me bid farewell to Sammy Lee. Says I have to call it a night. Take care, people. Great topic. Catch you later. Thank you, Sammy Lee. Going over Redneck is going over Shin's backstory. A point that he couldn't use magic until after something specific happened to him. Now thinks that those cheated with powder are weak. Power, not powder. Power. And he says brings up the series does a great job building its characters.
Hmm.
He also
Yes, it
bring
does. Right now, you're absolutely
he,
right.
he also adds, I've always debated how to describe the aesthetic of Dorohedoro, but the best one I think is grunge. It does looks grungy.
It kind of has that look to it, yeah.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
actually, if you ever play like Pearl Jam or Alice in Chains in the background for Dorohedoro, they certainly fit the aesthetic.
I could see that.
Now now in the next chapter, chapter 5, which is our final chapter, we focus on Anne, and we focus on the event that transpired before that sorcerer was brought to the to the hole, and and has a meeting with him, and he goes by,
Right.
and he asks him, "So ready to talk now?" The dude answers by spitting at him. He says, "Imbecile." He says, "Shin's and he basically explains Shin's magic. He says Shin's specialty is living sec. You good, Fizz?
Mm-hmm.
Everybody else?
I'm good.
Cool. Dominic is muted for now because he's got activity in the background.
Yeah. No, if I hearing strange noises, having a hard time breathing.
Oh, we both do. You and I can both relate. I have asthma. I don't know your situation. I don't know your situation, Fizz, but you don't have to speak on it. That's your personal business.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
I'm open about my health and stuff like that. So now,
Yeah.
if you want to be that way, that is your choice.
Okay,
Whether you
got
want to bring that up.
That's just what I want to reveal.
Exactly. That's the whole point. Like everybody here has that same applied to them. Like if you want to say something about yourself, go ahead and say it. Just be wary on what you want to share.
Mm-hmm.
Be very wary on what you share. There is no unwritten rule say what you can share. It's off limits completely
Right.
unless you're doing something on the side that can get you to some jail time, which I don't want to associate with your ass.
I know.
By that point, don't even come on here no more, motherfucker. I'm like, you a
In
criminal,
other words,
or at least
don't be a fool.
yeah, don't be a fool.
to me, criminal.
Don't you? You don't talk to me. You don't talk to me, criminal.
Yep. That's what I had in mind. I couldn't resist when he said that.
I'm like, bro, like now if you were an ex-con and you worked out your debt for society, oh, feel free to be here. We're all about the redemption over here.
That we are, unlike the usual suspects.
Yep.
Well, that may just work, actually. But you know what might work better? Going the fuck to sleep!
That never gets old.
So again, we have Anne explain. Sometimes there's explanations to how the magic works. So one what? Excuse me. Why am I losing my train of thought? I got the damn manga in my face and I'm losing my train of thought. What's wrong with me today? He explains Shin's magic, which is living vivisection. He says your body is still alive and writhing. You can have it back once you tell me what you know. The guy basically laughs at him. He said, "Everybody wants you dead,"
Ooh.
which is not really surprising to Ann.
Right.
He's made a lot of enemies in his backstory.
Mm-hmm. Your liver will make a lovely plate or pate.
Pate.
Thanks.
And that's basically the end of that. Like let me put it like this: we will never see the sorcerer ever again.
Yep,
This is our last moment with him, basically. When we get back to Ebisu, hey you, let's see your face. The door is still shut tight. You. Basically, Ebisu is going through memory fragmentation. A lot of shit has happened. She's gone through surgery.
Well, I just want to correct somebody in chat. Most lizards are either omnivores or insectivores.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
They either eat meat or eat insects or eat anything else.
No, I said omnivores or insectivores. Most lizards do not eat meat. They eat large meats most of the time. The only ones that do that are really a lot of monster lizards.
Well, I was saying that for the people in the back, by the way, Fizz.
Yeah,
Just a quick summation, because people don't biology.
Mhm.
I know. I know.
Or
I know because carnivores, snakes are carnivores, most definitely,
mm-hmm,
universally.
mm-hmm.
And
Most snakes.
crocodiles are carnivores as well.
Mm-hmm.
All snakes are carnivores,
Yep.
and all crocodiles too.
Mhm.
Yep. But the small lizards, they're just as you said, insectivores, and sometimes they'll eat anything that you give them.
Mhm. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sometimes, but it's recommended that you don't do that.
Right.
Mhm.
Stick to an insectoid diet for them
Mhm.
mostly.
Mhm.
They,
Mhm.
they,
Mhm.
yep. But moving on.
Sometimes it's yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. Exactly. Mhm.
So yeah, again, actually no, she didn't get the surgery yet, but basically, Fujita just basically patched her face up. She's only got
Yeah.
an eye showing
Yeah.
because on account of her face being
Being mangled.
yeah, he's essentially flying on their version of a broom. And we get a Honda tag, by the way.
I love that part of it.
Their brooms are basically made of all kind of junk.
It's like riding a motorcycle in there almost.
But of course, he takes her to what essentially is a clothing store. Oh wow, she's uncensored in this manga. Avert your
Mhm.
eyes from the
Oh.
pubescent tits.
Really
Uh.
now?
Okay. Let's say we say pubescent.
Prepubescent.
Oh. Oh.
Prepubescent.
Oh. Yeah.
Okay, the
Remember,
cheeks.
remember, Ebisu is kind of a teenager here.
Yeah.
Oh. Teenager.
Just,
Oh.
just let you know, if you're gonna when you get into chapter 5, just remember she's like partially nude in one particular panel.
Mhm.
Okay. I don't have a problem.
Yeah, when Fujita basically what Fujita is basically essentially reading up how to map basically instruction on how to put a dress on a specific dress, which is nothing but which is basically a cut up dress with zippers on it, so you have to piece it together like it's a puzzle.
Mhm.
Of course he's helping her get dressed, and you're still seeing more of Ebisu's body, which is, if you feel uncomfortable, I don't blame you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
Like
messed
I
up.
said, watch hentai, so I don't.
I hear you, man.
Says your breasts are showing that way, by the way. Yes.
That's
Yeah,
just wrong, man.
you get take act.
We
I'm
get teen
flabbergasted.
titties.
Yeah, you get take action in one panel, and I'm flabbergasted at the audacity there. Which again, she has Barbie doll anatomy in the anime,
Yeah.
which is nothing is showing.
Right.
And of course, we get Shin and Noi again. Shin's essentially in a more dignified tuxedo,
Mhm.
and Noi's in a long coat, but underneath is what she's going to be wearing in that in the event that or at least they're meeting in later on.
Mhm.
Of
Yeah. Let's see what
course,
we. Yeah.
and of course, Fushida rushes in with Ebisu, who has her mask on essentially, but
Mhm.
but she's still exposed.
Oh
There's a
man,
joke in
that's
there somewhere.
wrong.
He also introduces himself to Shin, and it goes like this: I'm Fujita.
Yeah.
I work with Mr. N. Nice to meet you. Hi, pleasure is mine. Hey, you're okay with that? With your tit hanging out like that? That's coming from Noi asking Ebisu personally, who's right now a
Yeah.
vegetable.
Yeah.
He says, I'm and Fujita introduces himself to Noi. He says, I'm Fujita. Nice to meet you. Is that a new look or something? Basically, commenting his get up.
Mhm.
And then we get the moment of every anime fan joy here, where once the what essentially is the maitre d asks them to take off your mask and coats, Noi takes off her coat and shows off her feminine glory.
Oh yes.
And to top it all off,
We get to see
she
her.
she takes off her mask. Yes, yes, Brian, I'm working up to that. She takes off her mask, shows off her face, and flips her hair.
Hello, nurse.
Oh yeah. And we get a full panel of her glory, Amazonian and all,
Oh yes.
with the leather, the metal braces and everything. And not Ebisu,
Yeah.
Fujita is shocked at the fact that Noi is a woman.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Because the outfit she wears basically just kind of like hides her feminine figure.
Yeah.
I have to go go to the war room. So I'll mute. I'll be back.
Okay.
All right.
By the time you probably get back, we'll probably be done.
So we're still on chapter 5.
Yep, we're on
Yeah, we're on
chapter
chapter
5.
5. What do you think about this chapter, Dominic?
Well, I felt chapter 5 was a good breather chapter, as we know more about Shin Noi, at least like not in depth, but like, we know more about them after chapter 4. But also get into like the details about and his family.
Yep.
Right.
Family. Yeah, it's like we get a feel of who N is, even though he is the one of the main antagonists in Dorohedoro. He's not the big bad. Similar to Noi and Shin, who are affably evil characters. He and comes off as a noble demon.
Yep.
And of course, you get to see the business relationship between them and Anne, and giving them a proposition for a job, and Shin voicing his discontent on fighting weaklings, which
Mm-hmm.
the next job will be, which we later find out it's going to be them hunting down Nikaido and Kaiman.
Yeah.
And of course, we get to see what Anne likes to eat, which is mushrooms.
Yikes.
Yeah,
Which
especially after him like hiring these two metamorphosis sorcerers who shapeshift into Nikaido and Kaiman.
Right.
We see like what happens to them towards the end of this chapter.
hmm we also see that Shin's heart starts pumping when he gets excited for something challenging. You get to see a
Yeah.
bit of his killer instinct.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it was interesting that Q how she like does an X-ray on one of the characters, in this case Shin like pump like pumping for excitement, showcase his excitement in this next assignment, while still not being out of character.
Hmm.
They also bring up he also brings up Ebisu's magic, which is essentially reptilian, and we get to see Ebisu's face,
Yeah.
what it looks like. I mean, it's way worse in the anime because
Okay, I'm back.
welcome back. It's way worse in the anime because the whole face came off,
Yeah.
Yeah.
whereas in this one it's tattered up. But
Mhm.
but again, in the anime, the face literally came off like her
Yeah.
she looked like she came off a Hellraiser.
It's like
In
eat
the
your
anime.
heart, Lisa Trevor.
He also brings up her face. Her fingers are cut off, so she can't cast spells, and her face has been skinned. She's out of her mind now. Let's order the 1 kilo steak, Shin. It's on in after all. which they're taking advantage of his hospitality. About the lizard and his female associate. We got two ladies entering. He says, "Thank you for coming. We have a special transmutation show for you today. I'm Criminy, and I'm Parsony. Welcome everybody. Transmutation. That's supposed to be tough to pull off. Wow, these guys impersonate all sorts of famous people. Transmute. Go." And they, of course, they become Nikaido and Kaiman in this instance. Shinonoi, this is who I'm looking for. A fair representation, Fushida. And of course, his reaction is priceless.
I know.
Yeah.
Shin has the very appropriate reaction to every situation. Look weak to me. What do you say? I look like him? Hey, can we get a drink? Long time no see, boss. Did you answer the phone earlier? I did. Did you like the liver? I only eat mushrooms. You miss mistakes.
Yeah, that was their first mistake.
Too late, pal. Our magic may be limited to transmutation, but killing you at this range will be essential. Basically, revealing themselves to be assassins. Very, very clumsy assassins, which got their hands nailed by knives and forks.
Yeah.
I mean, forks and knives can be used as weapons.
Yep. Ask
Yeah.
the Blue Raja from Mystery Man.
Fork yourself.
Exactly. But Noi chides and he said, "You let yourself get cornered that easily, you clown. Did you just throw a fork? Most people would have gone for the knife."
Like, don't get the wrong idea. I'm just having a little fun.
Let's get out of here. Of course, he uses magic, which is he breathes out his smoke.
No,
As I mentioned earlier, he breathes out his smoke and engulfs you, and you turn to mushrooms, whatever the thought, or mushrooms just,
And
or just mushrooms just happens, whatever the thought that crosses him. Either you become a pile of mushrooms, or mushrooms essentially grow on your face like pimples, or a big fuck all mushroom grows on your back, or a
Ooh.
mushroom nails you to the wall, or a mushroom gains sentience to kick your ass. This
Yo.
guy is only limited by his imagination on how he uses the mushrooms.
Forget the master
And-
master of magnetism. We got the master of mushrooms here.
and also, like Shin and Noi learns that the mushrooms that they've been eating actually came from people, and so they understandably spit out and spit out
Let
what
me read the
remains like in
lines
them.
real quick. Let me read the lines real quick. He says, "Find the real criminy and Parsony now at once, sir. If they're dead, use their courses to fertilize the mushroom garden. And send those mushrooms to the kitchen as usual. What, the mushrooms we ate were all... I, too, hate wastefulness, Shin." And of course, brr.
Ooh.
I mean, you would. You would react the same thing if you found out that the meat you've been eating this entire time is actually people.
Soylent
I mean, look
Green
at
is
Nibble.
people!
And of course, we go back to the hole with with Kaido and Kaiman eating gyozas at the Hungry Bug.
Yes! Again, ends on a very lax ending. It puts out like this. Meanwhile, back in the hole. Hey, Mikado, put those in the gyoza. Masakaki mushrooms? Where'd you get them? No sorcerers lately. I've been working my ass off. Walt's a little padded. Those are good. These are good. Come out, wherever you are, you sorcerers.
He's like, sorcerers, come out and play.
So that ends with, guys. If you guys like that we're talking about this manga, if you like this manga's chapters are brief as all hell until we get into the overarching narrative where it goes to long form. It essentially
Mm-hmm.
starts off with your garden variety Saturday morning stuff, flair and whatnot, but then it really gets into storytelling, like serialized storytelling,
Mm-hmm.
right, right in the makings of it. But this is essentially what it is. It's like the madness that is Dorohedoro. That's basically what essentially it boils down to, the madness.
Like, this is
And
madness.
what's interesting about this story is that everybody is a character,
Yeah.
Mhm.
even the villains, or essentially what amounts to be the villains. Especially,
Yep.
that's why
Mhm.
people love Shin and Noi so much, regardless of what they
Mhm.
do and who they work
Mhm.
for.
Yes, so this is basically the
Yeah.
opposite of Devil
And,
May Cry
and
Baby.
what's
What you say?
This is basically the opposite of Devil May Cry Baby.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
it's fun, personified,
yeah.
despite the
Yep.
horridness of the world.
Mm-hmm.
It's a very bleak world. Let's just say that it's a very bleak world, especially when you get into later issues that especially expand upon the world as it was created.
Mm-hmm.
It really builds off of that, especially how things end up the way they did.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like,
And and
go
both
ahead,
of
Dominic.
yes. No, I'm reading Melissa's comment, and it says Jake says that this manga is pretty effed up,
Yeah,
and
I
he's not
think.
wrong.
You're not wrong.
Not
You're
wrong.
not.
Oh.
So I will probably just hold off on the manga studies for now and probably get back to our usual topics. I just
Mm-hmm.
wanted to get this started. At least like three mangas to talk about.
Where's the usual topics on this channel? I been on the channel recently.
Our usual topics usually counts to talking about storytelling, writing, some topics that are really like being talked about on mainstream right now, pop culture.
Right.
We
Oh, okay.
essentially ramble on about things like you know we don't really like say we're a political commentating channel.
Mm-hmm.
We do
Well, we are.
but we do comment on the politics of things sometimes. And even though a lot of people would like for us to not really get there, it's already embedded into us. So we can talk less of it. That's what we can do, but we have to talk about it sometimes,
Yeah,
every
because
once in a
it's
while.
everywhere these days.
It also helps. It also helps. It also helps. Like whenever we have these conversations, we're able to agree to disagree. As we go over this as we go over these topics,
Yeah.
and that's
Exactly.
some, and that's
Oh,
that's something we're missing in this discourse. Like regardless of your race, your orientation, or where you lean politically, don't be so caught up by what but our differences. Focus on what we share in common as human beings.
yeah. And while we're on that subject of what, oh, I don't like this. I remember by Redneck. Damn, I forgot this story. And his face names last year in regards to the mandates. There are ain't now where I live, so I stopped working on it.
No, work on it. Halloween's coming up, dude.
Yeah. Also, like I
Yeah.
wanted to say, the one thing good about
Besides,
these.
I'm sick and tired of seeing the fucking what's that fucking anime called? Tokyo Ghoul masks.
Mm-hmm. Which,
I'm
which,
so sick and tired. Look, I'm happy that they have those, but I'm like, I'm so dead sick and tired of seeing those. Like y'all ain't never
Oh,
seen no Doro
there's
Door,
an
and y'all
over
ain't gonna wear no N mask, no Shin mask, no Noi
there's an
mask.
oversaturation of there's an oversaturation of Tokyo Ghoul masks.
Mm-hmm. Every once in a while you'll see it. Like not one of these motherfuckers are wearing a mask that has Aaron's mouth as a Titan,
mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
or even the smiling Titan,
Yeah,
the Titan that killed Aaron's mom,
right.
Or
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 even
even or
Mm,
even have a mask from one of the characters on League of Legends.
right,
right.
or a samurai mask or something like even the one from the Order Garen built from Monster Hunter World. Nada.
Mm,
Yeah, like
yeah.
have some variety in what kind of mask you're wearing. Don't
Yeah.
don't be all samey.
I'm just saying, I'm sick.
Yeah.
I'm like, it's fine that they have it. I'm just getting tired of seeing it.
Because there's too many of them.
It's too easy. Is what I'm saying.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's too
What do you
easy
Yeah,
to
think?
like
have that
the
laugh.
It's funny because I
like the
wanted to pick up
ambitions.
on what Dominic
Stand out
Powell
from the
was saying
crowd.
earlier.
It'd be funny if people wear no face masks.
Yeah.
Right?
The
From
Spirited Away.
Spirit Away. What you gonna say, Brian?
Yeah, I wanted to pick up on something that Dominic Powell was saying about finding things in common. This manga right here is something you can find in common with people because there are people that read this kind of stuff instead of just getting all caught up in like the depressing social issues all the time. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
And Nikaido and Noi are best girl. But
Oh yeah,
Yeah, they are.
that
but
they are.
people tend to always fall onto Noi more so than Nikaido.
Like,
Yeah,
come
I know
on, guys. Like give no Kaido some love. She's best girl and waifu material.
oh yeah.
I do firmly agree with Kat's assessment to Nikaido.
Mm-hmm.
She didn't say she's a bad character. She has a character flaw,
Mm-hmm.
which is nice. Like it's nice to know that somebody's actually looking at a character through their flaws
Yeah,
and not just essentially hate them for their flaws and instead love them for their flaws.
right.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's one thing I glean from Kat liking Nikaido that way. Like she's not her favorite. Obviously, we all know who's essentially Kat's favorite. But
Yeah.
but the reason why Nikaido works for her is because Nikaido is flawed, but in a good way. Very
Right.
flawed in a good
Oh
way.
yeah.
Yeah.
Which again, when I do relaunch the the manga reads, and we'll revisit this anime,
Right.
we'll see why that is. We'll
Mm-hmm.
essentially be seeing why is Nikaido a flawed character,
Right.
and not that's not to say she's the only flawed character in this story. I mean,
Of course not.
everybody here is flawed. Everybody,
Yeah.
even Kaiman. Kaiman is flawed.
Mm-hmm.
He always looks. He always leaps before he looks.
He's a reckless type.
Yep, and
Mm-hmm.
and at times he's very in over his head.
Yep.
Very in over his head.
Quite literally bites off more than he can chew.
Mm-hmm.
I'm surprised you didn't notice the punniness that we're doing here, guys. I'm not gonna point it out. Don't make me point it out. I'm gonna hate you if you make me point it out.
Wait,
But
I do want to
y'all notice the
bring it
pun.
up.
Go ahead.
I do want to bring out
Go ahead, Dominic.
over the course of Dorohedoro, Kaiman and Nikaido do meet other sorcerers in their journey who turn out to be not like the majority of other sorcerers who are pretty much pricks to humans.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. So they find
So
some good
over time
sorcerers.
we see some humanity
Right.
in the sorcerers is what I'm saying.
So they find some good sorcerers and not just all bad.
Yeah.
I assume it's gonna be good sorcerers.
Obviously, it's if it's always been the status quo like that, where it's always bad sorcerers, then you essentially still have a somewhat decent story, but it will be boring nonetheless.
Exactly.
Unfortunately, you
Yeah,
have to change up at some
you gotta
point.
have them.
Yeah.
Like you gotta have those layers and nuances in your story, in order to in order to make it not only engaging but also give out something to readers to invest as they continue reading along.
That's what I aim to do in Bouncers, or at least in the world of Eoth. Not every let's just say not every Hayram is bad, and neither is any Usanek or Usanite is essentially good. There has been blood on both sides spilled. So I essentially aim to do that too. And
But they're
go ahead, Dominic. What are you
In
gonna
other
say?
words, there are different. I was saying, in other words, there are different shades of gray. Where what you do have black and white characters. You're
Mm.
essentially
Hmm.
exploring the different shades of gray through that each characters embody.
So we'll stop here for now. This will be one of our first shortest streams ever, and
Mm-hmm.
I'm not mad
Mm.
about that. I would like to in the future
Mm.
keep the manga reads at a certain level now from now on, because if we're going through the first 5 chapters, I'm pretty sure
Right.
we could
Mm.
just talk about just the first 5 chapters instead of just going in all in on it. I will be for excuse me.
Mm.
Why are my words crossing over each other? Get my thoughts together. Now they're together. So when we do come back to this, hopefully we'll be talking about maybe we'll actually visit Gantz. I did mention
Mm.
that when we were talking about
Mm.
Inuyashiki,
Yeah, I
we were
know.
going to either
Yes.
visit Gantz or Gigant. Actually, no, that's what we were supposed to do next Tuesday. We're supposed to visit Gigant
Gigant.
Right.
What's Gigant?
because that's from the same creator who did Inuyashiki and Gantz. Only this time it stars a porn star.
What?
Ooh. Okay.
Yep.
What?
Are you guys
Porn.
okay with this?
I'm down
Okay.
for it.
Okay. My. Okay. Is it male or
I'm
female porn star?
just female.
Okay.
Which would you?
What'd you think it was there, man?
Ah.
A Swedish Japanese porn star. So I'll be
Holy
Okay.
linking you
moly.
guys. I'll be linking you guys to the manga later on. Mind you guys, remember this guy deals with a lot of nudity, which
Mm-hmm.
we're all adults here. We don't got shit to worry about on that front.
Right.
I
Mm.
can't speak for, but I
Well,
can't speak for everybody else.
especially if you're an artist and you taking figure drawing classes that bring in models, then you should be comfortable.
Right. But what I am saying is, there's heavy nudity in this book.
Mm-hmm.
So again, like I said, first 5 chapters, Gigant. I've already read up to I think 6, maybe 7. I think I'm up to like volume 3
Mm-hmm.
of that manga
Right.
because I have been reading it recently. It's pretty good. It's just a slow burn.
Okay.
It is most certainly a slow burn, right? Because similar to Inuyashiki, this is another superhero story. So this time it involves mixing Attack of the 50-foot woman with I've been mixing it with superhero and science fiction conventions.
Mm-hmm.
That's
Okay.
your selling point right there. That's your synopsis. So you guys up for next Tuesday about that manga for that manga read?
I'm down
Okay.
for it.
Yeah, I'm up for it.
Hopefully Schooner will be join us. He had to go to an event today, so he wasn't with us
Uh,
today.
yeah.
I heard.
So thank you
Okay.
guys for joining us, and also I'd like to thank everybody, those few of you who are here to listen to us ramble on and on about this and all over the place with this manga. Hopefully, we'll be more structured in the future.
Right.
If there was any flaws in this stream, which
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure there were, but we soldiered on though. We soldiered on.
Mm.
Yep.
So it's on.
So I'd like
And
to thank Fizz for joining us today.
yeah, I wasn't able to read the manga because technical issues or when circumstances. But
Right.
okay.
You're basically the audience that we're speaking to. You're basically
Okay.
the eyes for the audience or the ears for the audience.
Mm.
By the way, I've linked Fish Chozo's Indiegogo in the description. Please, guys, support this man. He has a very brilliant idea. I've shared it on MeWe. I've shared it on Twitter. I've even shared it on my minds. Like, check out Goofanoid. Please support Goofanoid. It's a very interesting concept. If need be, I will have Fizz on here again to talk about his story, Goofanoid, so you guys know what's up and why you should support it. On that same token, I'll make sure to check back with Troopers, see if we all can talk about this in detail, because I know Trooper was very sold on your story, Fizz. I will also talk to you after this in the green room, Fizz. Dominic will be back. We still got to sign him out. But yeah, guys, check out that check out by the way, check out Fizz's channel.
Yeah, like I said, due to technical difficulties, I haven't been able to make a video in a while, but I will. I got some stuff planned.
Right.
I'm gonna link your channel in the chat real quick. Give me a sec. I'm gonna link your channel, and I'm also gonna relink your Indiegogo.
Okay.
So that you guys so that it can get some attention, man, because you got some brilliant ideas that you need to get out there. And Dominic's back. So here's Fish Chozo's YouTube channel. And let's see. I like that. That's funny. Sorry, I was looking at something interesting on your channel, dude. Your analysis.
Yeah. 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 I used to do cartoon reviews a long time ago, but nobody's watching those.
Yeah, I get it. I fully understand, dude. Sometimes you gotta let things go. So I'm trying to move on with this channel too, like move on to some brighter stuff. But I probably announced that I'm actually 120 subs now, as of right now. Anyways, guys, I'd like to thank Brian Gilmartin, the Maverick Hunter Saint.
Yes, it's been a pleasure talking about this manga, and if you guys liked what you heard here, go and find it wherever books are sold, or check out wherever it is you buy books. And glad to be here. This has been Brian Gilmartin. No damage to report. Moving to next area.
I'd like to thank Dominic Powell for assisting as well. Thank you for being here, dude, as always, for these manga reads.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you. It's a pleasure to be here, and as always, if you want to come back here next Thursday for any topics that we're going to cover, or be on the lookout on your YouTubes and your social media as we'll send out announcements.
Thank you, everybody. Your Wolf Commander Wolf Tan, your werewolf. Once again, to remind you guys again, you are the UN Spacey. Welcome to the Wolf Fleet. Damn it, did I just start a howl?
You did earlier.
Fucking anyway.
He's not like the others. He's so strong and muscly and hot.